The United States Navy has built some of the most powerful warships in history. Aircraft carriers the size of floating cities. Nuclear submarines that disappear beneath the ocean for months. Cruisers bristling with missiles that can hit targets 1,000 miles away. But there is one ship that makes even experienced naval officers stop and stare. 610 feet of angular black steel. No visible gun turrets, no towering radar masts. No classic gray destroyer silhouette cutting the horizon. Just a massive, wave-piercing wedge that slides through the ocean in near silence and shows up on enemy radar as nothing larger than a fishing boat. $4 billion. 158 sailors. The most advanced destroyer ever built by any navy on Earth. This is the USS Zumwalt. And today, you are going inside. Stay with us, because what's inside this ship is unlike anything you've seen before. 95% of people watching right now won't subscribe. They'll watch, leave, and never find out what we cover next week. Prove us wrong in 2 seconds. Hit subscribe. Now, let's go inside the Zumwalt. Sleeping rooms. A destroyer first. The sleeping quarters that changed everything. On every destroyer that came before the Zumwalt, enlisted sailors slept in large, open berthing compartments. Dozens of bunks stacked 3 high. 60, sometimes 80 sailors sharing one room. One small locker per person. A thin curtain as the only privacy. No personal space beyond the dimensions of the rack itself. The USS Zumwalt changed this completely. For the first time in U.S. Navy destroyer history, the Zumwalt was designed with berthing in staterooms. Small private or semi-private rooms with their own bathroom facilities. At the lowest enlisted rank, 4 sailors share one stateroom with one dedicated bathroom. 4 people. Not 60, not 40. 4. This single design decision transformed what it means to be a sailor on a destroyer. Veterans who served on traditional Arleigh Burke-class destroyers before transferring to the Zumwalt described the difference as almost incomprehensible. On previous ships, personal space was measured in the 18 inches between your rack and the bunk above you. On the Zumwalt, you have a room. The ship's design also includes dedicated lounges and library spaces for the crew. Areas specifically allocated for rest and recreation that don't exist on most other destroyers. The philosophy behind these design choices was deliberate. A smaller, more technically sophisticated crew requires higher quality of life to sustain peak performance on extended deployments. With only 158 sailors operating a ship of this complexity, every single person aboard carries responsibilities that would be distributed among twice as many sailors on an older vessel. Keeping that crew mentally sharp and psychologically healthy over months at sea is not just a quality of life consideration. It is an operational requirement. The sleeping arrangements on the Zumwalt represent a direct acknowledgement that the sailors operating this technology are the ship's most critical system, and they deserve more than a curtain and a coffin-sized rack. The kitchen, feeding 158 sailors at sea. How the Zumwalt's galley works. Every warship at sea faces the same fundamental challenge that has existed since the first naval vessels sailed thousands of years ago. You must feed your crew. Every day. Multiple meals. In whatever conditions the ocean provides. On the USS Zumwalt, this challenge is managed in a galley designed specifically for the ship's smaller crew size. 158 sailors is a fraction of the complement aboard an aircraft carrier or even a traditional destroyer. The kitchen reflects this, smaller than what you'd find on larger vessels, but significantly more sophisticated in its equipment and layout. The Zumwalt's culinary specialists prepare 3 main meals daily, plus continuous snack availability for crew members coming off watch rotations at all hours. Fresh ingredients are prioritized in the first weeks of any deployment. The ship carries enough provisions to sustain full operations for extended periods without resupply. But fresh produce disappears first, replaced by frozen proteins and shelf-stable goods as the deployment progresses. What makes feeding sailors on the Zumwalt particularly demanding is the watch rotation system. Not every sailor eats at the same time. The ship operates around the clock, which means the galley serves sailors at every hour of every day. A sailor coming off a midnight watch needs a hot meal at 3 in the morning just as much as the sailor eating lunch at noon. The mess decks on the Zumwalt serve multiple purposes beyond feeding the crew. They are the social center of the ship, the place where sailors from different departments interact outside of duty stations, where conversations happen, friendships form, and the collective identity of the crew develops over months at sea. Food quality matters more than most civilians realize. On a deployment lasting months with no ability to leave the ship, no restaurants, no outside entertainment, the meal becomes the most anticipated event of the day. Submarine commanders have long understood this. The Zumwalt's designers built it into the ship's culture from the beginning. Before we go deeper inside the Zumwalt, and the next section takes you onto the bridge where one sailor does what used to take 5, take 3 seconds right now to hit that like button and subscribe. Over 95% of people watching haven't subscribed yet. It helps us keep building these stories. Now let's keep going. The bridge, where one sailor does the work of 5. The most automated combat ship ever built. Walk onto the bridge of a traditional US Navy destroyer, and you see exactly what you'd expect. Multiple sailors at multiple stations, a helmsman controlling direction, a separate operator controlling speed, navigation officers, watch officers. The bridge of a complex warship has historically required many hands working in coordination to keep the vessel moving safely. Walk onto the bridge of the USS Zumwalt, and everything changes. The Zumwalt was designed around a concept called optimal manning, the idea that advanced automation could reduce the number of sailors required to operate the ship without reducing capability. On a traditional destroyer this size, 300 or more sailors might be needed. The Zumwalt operates with 158. That reduction didn't happen by eliminating functions. It happened by automating them. The ship's steering system uses a single joystick controller that combines helm and throttle functions previously operated by separate sailors. One person now handles what previously required 2 dedicated stations. The bridge itself looks closer to a modern aircraft cockpit than a traditional naval command center. Multiple large screens displaying navigation data, threat information, ship system status, and communications feeds replace the traditional analog instruments that covered earlier warship bridges. Information that once had to be verbally communicated between multiple stations now appears simultaneously on every relevant screen. The total ship computing environment, the Zumwalt's integrated digital backbone, connects every system on the ship into one unified network. The propulsion system, the weapons systems, the sensors, the damage control systems. All of it flows through one architecture that can be monitored and controlled from multiple locations simultaneously. For the sailors operating these systems, the learning curve is steep. The Zumwalt requires crew members who are comfortable with advanced technology, capable of interpreting complex data streams, and trained to make rapid decisions based on information presented in formats that didn't exist on previous ships. The captain of the original USS Zumwalt described serving on the ship by saying he would rather be on that vessel than any other ship he had ever sailed. The technology, the design, the quality of life, all of it combined into something genuinely unprecedented in naval history. Daily watch rotation. How 158 sailors keep a warship running 24 hours a day. A warship never sleeps. There is no moment during a deployment when the USS Zumwalt is not actively manned, monitored, and ready for immediate action. Achieving that continuous readiness with only 158 sailors requires a watch system that structures every hour of every sailor's day. The standard watch rotation divides the crew into sections that rotate through duty periods throughout the day and night. When one section goes on watch, taking their stations throughout the ship to monitor systems, maintain readiness, and respond to any situation that develops. Another section sleeps, eats, or conducts maintenance. This cycle repeats continuously for the entire deployment. Sailors become acutely aware of time in ways that civilians rarely experience. You don't think about Tuesday or Wednesday. You think about your next watch, your next rest period, your next meal. The calendar collapses into a rhythm of duty cycles that stretches from departure to homecoming. The psychological adjustment required for sustained watch rotation is significant. The body's natural sleep rhythms resist artificial scheduling. Sailors report that the first few weeks of a deployment involve genuine disorientation as their biological clocks adjust to a schedule disconnected from natural day and night cycles. Senior petty officers and officers with years of sea experience develop strategies for managing this. Consistent pre-sleep routines. Strategic use of the ship's limited quiet periods. Deliberate management of caffeine consumption around watch rotations. These adaptations become second nature after enough deployments, but always require active effort. The watch system also creates one of the most powerful social bonds in naval service. The sailors who stand watch together, who share the quiet hours of a midnight watch, who respond together to unexpected situations at 3 in the morning, who hand off responsibility to each other at the end of every rotation, develop trust that goes beyond professional respect. Showers and hygiene at sea. The 3-minute reality of personal hygiene. Personal hygiene aboard any warship presents challenges that most civilians never consider. Fresh water is not unlimited. Hot water is not guaranteed. Privacy is a relative concept, even on a ship designed with better accommodations than most destroyers. The Zumwalt's stateroom design provides individual bathrooms shared between 4 sailors, a significant improvement over communal shower facilities on traditional destroyers. This means coordinating bathroom access among 4 people rather than dozens, which transforms the morning routine from a logistical challenge into something approaching normal civilian life. But the Navy shower discipline still applies. Water conservation aboard any vessel underway is not optional. Sailors wet down quickly, turn the water off, soap and shampoo, then rinse as efficiently as possible. The entire process in 2 to 4 minutes. Not because anyone is timing you, but because the culture of shipboard life builds conservation into every daily habit. Laundry presents its own challenges. The ship carries washing machines and dryers for the crew. Signing up for laundry time, managing your clothing to last between wash cycles, and ensuring your uniform is clean and regulation for duty, these small logistical puzzles become part of the rhythm of daily life at sea. The stateroom-bathroom arrangement on the Zumwalt also provides something that sailors on most other destroyers never get during deployments: a door they can close. A space that belongs, however temporarily, to 4 people rather than the entire crew. The psychological value of that small privacy cannot be overstated during months at sea. Veterans of both traditional destroyers and the Zumwalt consistently cite the stateroom design as the single biggest quality of life improvement over previous destroyer service. Not the technology, not the weapons. The fact that you have a bathroom you share with 3 people instead of 50. Fitness and physical readiness. Staying combat ready on a moving ship. United States Navy sailors aboard the USS Zumwalt are required to maintain physical fitness standards that meet or exceed Navy requirements, regardless of deployment length. There is no pause button for fitness because the ship is at sea. There is no exemption because the gym is smaller than the one at the base. The Zumwalt's fitness facilities are designed for the ship's crew size, compact but functional. Cardiovascular equipment, free weights, resistance machines, everything necessary to maintain conditioning over extended deployments in a space considerably smaller than any land-based gym. The ship's distinctive tumble-home hull actually provides a smoother ride than traditional destroyers in many sea conditions, according to officers who commanded the vessel during storm encounters. Where a conventional destroyer might roll significantly in rough seas, making treadmill running genuinely dangerous, the Zumwalt's hull geometry provides better stability. Sailors report being able to conduct normal gym sessions in weather conditions that would shut down exercise aboard other destroyers. Physical training also extends beyond the gym. The ship's weather decks provide limited but real space for body weight exercises, stretching, and movement that breaks the pattern of working inside the ship's enclosed spaces for extended periods. Access to open air and natural light, even briefly, carries psychological benefits that experienced sailors prioritize deliberately. Navy fitness testing continues during deployments. Sailors maintain training logs, track their performance, and prepare for formal fitness evaluations that occur on schedule, regardless of operational tempo. For a crew where every sailor carries the responsibility normally distributed among twice as many people, physical readiness is not a personal preference. It is an operational requirement. Genuine question for you right now. If the United States Navy offered you a posting aboard the USS Zumwalt, your own stateroom shared with just 3 other sailors, the most advanced destroyer ever built, cutting-edge technology surrounding you every day, would you take it? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments. We read every single one. The weapon systems. What this ship can actually do. Understanding daily life aboard the USS Zumwalt requires understanding what this ship is ultimately designed for. Because the operational purpose of the vessel shapes everything about how the crew lives, trains, and prepares every single day. The Zumwalt was originally built around 2 advanced gun systems. Massive automated cannons capable of firing GPS-guided shells up to 72 miles. When the specialized ammunition program was canceled due to cost, each round would have cost nearly $800,000. The guns lost their primary purpose. The Navy ultimately made the decision to remove them entirely. In their place, the Zumwalt is receiving hypersonic missile systems. The conventional prompt strike weapon, a hypersonic glide vehicle capable of striking targets at ranges exceeding 1,000 miles, is being installed in advanced payload modules, replacing the original gun positions. When this modernization is complete, the USS Zumwalt will be capable of hitting targets anywhere on Earth within 1 hour of launch. The ship also carries 80 vertical launch system cells loaded with a combination of Tomahawk cruise missiles, standard missiles for air defense, and anti-submarine weapons. This arsenal makes the Zumwalt capable of conducting strikes, defending against air threats, and hunting submarines simultaneously. For the sailors who maintain and operate these systems, the daily work involves continuous training, equipment checks, and readiness verification. A weapons system worth hundreds of millions of dollars requires constant attention. Malfunctions at sea cannot be referred to a manufacturer's service center. The sailors aboard must diagnose and fix everything themselves. The weapons technicians on the Zumwalt represent some of the most technically trained enlisted sailors in the entire United States Navy. Their daily routine blends the discipline of military service with the technical demands of maintaining systems that represent the leading edge of naval warfare technology. Communication and family. Staying connected to the world above. One of the most psychologically significant aspects of extended naval deployment is the challenge of maintaining connection to family and friends back home. For sailors aboard the USS Zumwalt, The communication situation has improved dramatically compared to previous generations, but the fundamental isolation of months at sea remains a constant reality. The ship provides internet connectivity for the crew. Unlike submarines that must maintain radio silence for operational security, surface destroyers can maintain regular communications without compromising their mission. Sailors can send emails, make video calls during designated periods, and receive messages from home throughout the deployment. But connectivity is not unlimited. Bandwidth on a warship is a shared resource. During periods of high operational tempo, when the ship is actively engaged in missions, personal communications may be restricted or unavailable for days at a time. Sailors learn to communicate in concentrated bursts rather than the continuous digital connection that civilian life now takes for granted. The psychological impact of separation from family is consistently cited by experienced sailors as the hardest part of naval service. Not the physical conditions, not the work demands. The moment your child says something remarkable, and you hear about it 3 days later in a message. The family celebration that happens without you. The ordinary daily events that accumulate into months of life you didn't witness. The Navy has invested significantly in crew welfare programs that acknowledge this reality. Access to mental health resources, communication support, programs specifically designed for the families of deployed sailors to maintain connection with the Navy community while their sailor is at sea. The sailors aboard the USS Zumwalt carry their families with them in photographs pinned inside stateroom lockers, in messages saved on personal devices, and in the awareness that every successful day at sea is one day closer to coming home. Recreation and downtime. How sailors fight boredom on a $4 billion warship. Between watches, maintenance periods, and training rotations, Zumwalt sailors have limited but real personal time. How that time is used matters significantly for crew cohesion and morale over the months of a deployment. The ship's lounge spaces, a specific design feature of the Zumwalt not found on most traditional destroyers, provide areas where sailors can gather outside the duty environment. Movie nights, card games, video games on personal devices, informal conversations that build the relationships sustaining crew performance under pressure. The Zumwalt's library spaces give sailors access to books, education materials, and quiet areas for reading or studying. Many sailors use deployment time to pursue Navy education programs, work toward advancement examinations, or complete college coursework through military education benefits that remain accessible at sea. Physical competition fills the competitive energy of sailors who thrive on challenge. Informal fitness competitions, push-up challenges, running distance tracking among crew members. The competitive culture of the Navy doesn't disappear aboard ship, it redirects into whatever forms the environment allows. And then there are the spontaneous moments that veterans remember decades later. The cook who turned leftover ingredients into something unexpected and extraordinary at midnight. The movie night when the entire crew packed into every available space and watched something that became a reference point for the rest of the deployment. The night watch shared with the right person during a stretch of flat ocean under a sky full of stars, talking about anything and everything, building a friendship that outlasts the deployment by years. These are the moments that make the difficult parts of naval service worth enduring, and they happen on the USS Zumwalt every single deployment. The ghost ship reputation. Why sailors call it the most unique posting in the Navy. Among United States Navy surface warfare sailors, a posting to a Zumwalt-class destroyer carries a reputation unlike any other assignment in the fleet. It is not the most comfortable posting. No warship deployment is comfortable by civilian standards. It is not the safest posting. a vessel specifically designed for stealth strike operations in contested waters, accepts a level of risk that comes with the mission. But it is widely considered the most extraordinary posting in the surface navy. The technology surrounding Zumwalt sailors every day represents the leading edge of what the United States military can build. Sailors who serve on this ship operate systems that most naval engineers only study in technical papers. They troubleshoot problems on equipment that has no established maintenance history because it has never been put to sea before. They develop expertise in technology that will define naval warfare for the next generation. The ship's reputation for strange mechanical issues, the propulsion system failure in the Panama Canal, the seawater leak during sea trials, the fire during the 2026 modernization period, has given the Zumwalt a personality in the eyes of its crews. This is a ship that challenges you, that surprises you, that occasionally humbles you, and that ultimately becomes the most memorable assignment of a naval career. Captain Andrew Carlson, one of the Zumwalt's early commanding officers, said directly that he would rather serve on that ship than any other vessel he had commanded in his career. That sentiment, from an experienced naval officer, captures something real about what the Zumwalt represents to the people who serve on it. Climax. What the Zumwalt really represents. The ship that defines America's naval future. The USS Zumwalt is simultaneously the most advanced destroyer ever built and the most controversial warship in modern U.S. Navy history. Critics point to the canceled gun ammunition, the reduced fleet from 32 ships to 3, the cost overruns that made each vessel more expensive than a nuclear submarine. These criticisms are not wrong, but they miss the larger story. The Zumwalt was never just a weapons platform. It was a technology laboratory, an integrated testing ground for systems that the U.S. Navy needed to develop for the warships of the next 50 years. The integrated electric propulsion system being tested aboard Zumwalt is the foundation for the Navy's future destroyer program. The automation systems that allow 158 sailors to operate a ship this size are being studied for application across the entire fleet. The stateroom berthing design that gave every enlisted sailor genuine privacy is being considered as a standard for future destroyer construction. The 3 Zumwalt-class destroyers cost $22.5 billion total, but the knowledge generated by building, operating, and continuously developing these vessels is worth far more than that investment. Every system that failed taught the Navy something that will prevent failures on the next generation of ships. Every operational deployment refined the doctrine for how advanced stealth destroyers should be used in modern naval conflict. And in the hypersonic missile conversion now underway, the Zumwalt is finding the mission that its designers always believed was possible. A stealthy strike platform capable of hitting any target on Earth with no warning and no defense. Not a gun destroyer, not a shore bombardment ship. A precision hypersonic strike vessel that disappears from radar and delivers consequences from distances that make interception impossible. The 158 sailors aboard each Zumwalt-class destroyer aren't just operating a warship. They are living inside the future of naval warfare. If this video gave you something genuinely new about the U.S. Navy's most advanced destroyer, hit that like button now and subscribe so you never miss what we cover next. Next week, we are going inside the most dangerous job on a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. The flight deck crew who work inches from jet engines and live weapons on the most lethal workplace on Earth. You will not want to miss it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.